welcome to a most highly questionable way to analyze football. What do you like on the show today, Bomani?
You said it, football, man.
Just football. Dale, papi.
Who deserves more credit for the Patriots' victory last night, Bill Belichick or Jim Garoppolo?
All right, keep in mind, the Patriots went into last night's game almost a 10-point underdog, which we had not seen since the Super Bowl against the Rams in January of 2002. And Jimmy Garoppolo looked more than capable. He looked like a starting quarterback. Like, if we had not told you this was a guy who was making his first start, you never would have thought so in the first place. If Tom Brady put up the exact same performance under those circumstances without Rob Gronkowski, we talk about how great Tom Brady was. I'm not taking any credit away from Garoppolo after that one.
By the way, Garoppolo was getting rid of the ball faster than even Brady does, and Brady on average gets rid of it faster than anybody. But I can do this without taking credit away from Garoppolo and without giving all the credit to the mystics and the sorcerers that they consult with to partake in this particular evil that allows them to have a 2-turnover disadvantage at Arizona and win the game without all of these players. But Bomani, I do wonder here, if I took someone like Tony Romo and put him in the Patriots system and took Tom Brady out of the Patriots system and put him in Dallas, are we totally rethinking the way that we think about Tony Romo because people who play in that system are going to end up being good?
Well, Tom Brady was supposed to be suspended, but I saw him on the stands and he was happy, very happy.
Oh.
Fake Brady. It's a mask.
It's
a frighteningly realistic mask.
I thought that was him.
Wow.
I thought that was him with John Travolta hair. I thought that was him.
Stop taking pictures and go try to meet women if the mask is that good.
Are you guys ready to admit you were wrong about Carson Wentz?
Did I say anything bad about Carson Wentz? I don't remember saying anything bad. Okay, I'll admit I was wrong about something that I don't remember saying. He looked good yesterday. The most impressive part to me, Bomani, in a league where everyone is doing dump downs, he threw the ball down the field. He had 4 passes of over 15 yards down the field. You don't see that very much now, and you certainly don't see it from young quarterbacks now where they open up the offense a little bit. He looked great yesterday.
Now, where I could say I was wrong was I said if everybody told us that this dude wasn't going to be ready to play week 1 for months, I didn't see how he had any business on the field for week 1. Apparently, the answer to how he had business on the field in week 1 was play against the Browns. Now, to be fair to Wentz, he looked capable. He looked like he had business being there, doing all that line of scrimmage stuff that gets everybody all hot and bothered and everything else, right? So if I am wrong for believing when people said he wouldn't be ready week 1 because he looked like he was ready week 1, I guess I'll be that.
Hold on a second, though. Let's wait for a second until he gets some pressure. And I remind you that last year at this time, we were talking about Jameis Winston being awful in game 1 and how much better Marcus Mariota was going to be than Jameis Winston because of how good he was in game 1. We tapped the brakes on that because of what he said about the Browns.
You know who didn't look that good yesterday? RG3.
You know, it's funny. He actually looked good early. And then after I said that out loud, I don't think he completed a single pass after that moment.
Yeah, and then he got hurt again because he's made of peanut brittle.
Should Raiders coach Jack Del Rio be getting so much praise for going for 2?
So wait a minute. The Raiders might actually be good after we've been hearing they could be good, but who could believe it because they hadn't made the playoffs since 2002. The league's better when the Raiders are good, especially when the Raiders are doing stuff like this, right? It's down 7, 51 seconds left.
Catch made, Seth Roberts spinning into the end zone.
Great play by a dude I've never heard of because he plays for the Raiders. Now they're going for 2.
That's right. Not going for the tie.
Now, our fancy ESPN number said that they had a 51% chance of winning if they went to overtime. They're like, nah, we going up with it. And Crabtree with an amazing catch.
Shouldn't really do the throat slash gesture there and get 15 yards of penalty, but you can do that when Sebastian Janikowski is kicking off after that.
Now, Jack Del Rio would have stunned on us, though, right? He didn't like ESPN pointing out the numbers here, and Jack Del Rio says, good thing ESPN isn't coaching the Raiders.
Yes.
You might take that back at the end of the year because they tend to fire coaches, and they might try to hire some guy named ESPN. You never know. But you got to go for the 2 there, right? You know why you have to go for the 2 there? Because the alternative is I'm going to put this defense back on the field, the one that had already given up 34 points.
I love the victory lap that Jack Del Rio took after this game. You can imagine him swaggering into the bedroom last night wearing nothing but that leather jacket that he likes to wear. You had a situation where their offense was doing what it wanted, and what he did at the end of the game in that copycat league, not a lot of people do it, and it's why he deserves the credit for it. Because he said rather simply, even though it's not that smart, it seems fairly obvious, I'm not going to let Drew Brees win this game. I'm going to take the ball out of his hands. My offense, 3 yards for the game. I'll take it.
Well, Jack Del Rio, he pretends to be all tough. Like, we didn't see him coaching the Jaguars.
We remember that. We haven't forgotten that. You know that, Jack, right? We all saw that.
Remember when they had that axe in the locker room for everybody to shout how tough they were, and then the dude put himself out for the year swinging the axe?
We remember, Jack.
Is it fair to put all the blame on Terrence Williams for the Cowboys' loss?
Because nothing is more entertaining than the Cowboys losing the national game of the week in an embarrassing fashion, at least for us uninvested parties. Now, you'll see this. 2019, Dak Prescott, he didn't look bad. I guess I can say that. Here we go. See that big old sideline over there?
Yep.
Now see that clock up there?
Yep.
You see how that thing is winding down?
No timeouts for Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that American flag mouthpiece ain't going to save you from the booing, homeboy.
Oh, that hurts.
I mean, right over there.
Yeah, you got to get out of bounds.
Look at Des Bryant, the voice of reason. Like, yo, why don't you come over here?
Yeah. And Jason Garrett, by the way, the question is all the blame. It felt like Jason Garrett put all the blame on that. It presumes a lot, though. I know Bailey's the best kicker in the league, but you're still presuming even if he gets out of bounds that Bailey's going to make something from 60-plus yards.
Not only you're presuming that, you're forgetting the fact that you got the best offensive line in the league by most accounts, and Ezekiel Elliott only got 51 yards on 20 carries. The biggest reason they didn't win this game, they were no threat to do anything down the field in either facet of the game.
I will add another reason that Dallas didn't win the game. When New York was in the red zone, they scored touchdowns all 3 of the times while Dallas was making field goals. That's pretty simple math.
Well, don't blame the ball carrier there. I mean, he thought that he was closer to the end zone. That's all. He made a mistake in judgment, you know. After all, everybody was expecting him to get out of bounds, and he just tried to, go to for the end zone.
You're talking about the end zone like it's the Arc de Triomphe or something. Like, oh, it's right there, and then you've been walking 3 miles and you're no closer.
It's like the casinos in Vegas. That happens in Vegas all the time. You think you're right there, and you're walking for 3 days.
What do you make of the different pregame protests around the NFL?
A couple of things that I was surprised by, Bomani. It's Monday, and we're actually talking about the football. I thought we were going to be doing more social commentary today. The football was that good. You can see some pictures here of some of the things that were done. The Chiefs locking arms here. The guy at the end, we didn't show the power fist that he threw up there. A couple of Dolphins, 4 Dolphins sitting down. That bothered Kate Upton. She called it a disgrace right there. The Seahawks locked together. What I thought about it, though, generally speaking, Bomani, is Chris Jackson, when he did this many years ago, he was awfully alone with it. There weren't a lot of people who were coming and supporting him behind him. Kaepernick has proven to be a leader on this front because some guys are willing to go out there with him. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but we're talking about, what, 6 or 7 out of how many, right? And I know a lot more players talked about doing something when the rubber met the road. It wound up looking like it did. Now, do whatever it is that you want to do, but I could imagine that a whole lot of guys had it in their minds they were going to make some statement, and then they walked in there on September 11th and looked around and were like, maybe not today. Like, imagine you're in Dallas, and they got all those cops on the field, understandably given what happened this summer. But they got all these cops out here on the field, and you were planning to do something that day. I can understand how you'd walk it back unless you are the most batty-body individual on planet Earth. Now, the question is, what happens next week? Because everything that everybody's talking about doesn't expire after week 1.
So what happens tonight? You know, Kaepernick's team plays tonight.
Ain't nobody staying up that late to watch the Niners and the Rams.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable, do you know who is happy that we're talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Darrelle Rivas.
Yeah, apparently tickets to Rivas Island are on Groupon these days because A.J. Green lit him on fire.
Little drinks on the island with umbrellas in them. He was sipping them.
2-for-1 special.
Woo!
It is Monday. Time for more football.
Our jobs get so much easier this time of year.
Woo!
Is Ryan Fitzpatrick exactly who we thought he was?
Well, Jets fans can be delusional, though. This is a season of expectations, of hope, as if their quarterback's not Ryan Fitzpatrick. So at the end of the game yesterday, they're playing against Cincinnati. They are down a little bit late. And there it is, right there, thrown into the neck of the defensive back to finish the game. It just gets lodged there because Ryan Fitzpatrick was throwing it. It's a flutter ball. It lands delightfully, like an eagle from the sky, as if it were trained to land right there in the wrong place, in the wrong uniform, at the end of the football
He's like,
game.
oh, an out route. You meant an out route. I just kind of threw it out. It needed to be like a little farther out. The thing is, yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick is who we thought he was, because Ryan Fitzpatrick was actually that guy last year, too. The numbers just gave you a different impression, but nothing had drastically changed about this guy. The question is last year's standard for Ryan Fitzpatrick, which is simply not being Geno Smith, going to be enough this year when they're coming off a 10-win season? My guess, they're going to be tearing him apart like he was Geno Smith by week 7.
Do you know who is happy that we're talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Raul Rivas.
Yeah, apparently tickets to Rivas Island are on Groupon these days because A.J. Green lit him on fire.
Little drinks on the island with umbrellas in them. He was sipping them.
2-for-1 special.
Woo!
Is it okay if Tricky Nicky goes ballistic at an employee for this Lane Kiffin?
Okay, look. Both of us, right? We're not here for all this screaming. The problem is a guy like Nick Saban, we've kind of grown accustomed to it, so it doesn't give us the same visceral reaction that he used to. And then there are times where it's just funny. And this happens to be one of them. Lane Kiffin makes a lot of money, so it ain't the same as screaming at the player. Now, the best here. Oh, no, he's not done. I'm sorry.
Look at the score. Look at the score.
Yes. Look at the time on top of the score. Right? Now, the best is after the game, Nick Saban was asked about them arguing, and he said, that wasn't an argument, that was an ass chewing. You know why? There ain't nobody arguing with no Nick Saban, especially not that clown.
I love the idea that Nick Saban made an amendment. He was talking, what was that argument about? It wasn't any argument. I was just chewing on that bleep. That's all he was doing there, because he said he was more embarrassed by that than he's ever been by any victory ever. And as Bomani said, Kiffin's salary went from $700,000 to $1.4 million, and Nick Saban rescued the entirety of his career. Kiffin will take it. He'll eat it. He has to.
I was disappointed at Lane. I thought that he was going to go chest to chest with Tricky Nicky, you know? I was very disappointed.
Yeah,
you know, that's how you get the head coaching jobs. Yeah, that's right. In college football, you got to show that you got the spark when the chips are down.
You don't get a head coaching job by getting fired on the spot, right? Because that's how that would have gone.
Right, that is how that would have gone.
Did Dave Roberts make the right decision by yanking Rich Hills after throwing 7 perfect innings?
I love that he pronounces yanking with a J. Janking. What we have here is Dave Roberts himself says that he made the wrong decision. He's not going to be able to sleep. He felt a little bit nauseated because it was only 88 pitches. There was a blister situation, and he made the unpopular decision. He's looking at it the long view. It's probably prudent, but if Dave Roberts himself is saying, man, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night, I'm not going to sit here and argue on behalf of the fact that he should sleep better.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that he believes that, right? Like, it sounds like he might be saying that so we can say, oh, no, Dave, you were doing the right thing. It just so happens that it seems from here that he probably did do the right thing, because if it's a blister situation, you don't want that to go down the line for the unlikelihood that this dude was going to get 6 more outs without anybody getting on base at any point. He made the tough decision. It may not feel like the right decision, but in the end, it comes with the lowest cost. Largely because I'm not Rich Hill and he's not Rich Hill, and I really don't give a damn how he feels.
I noticed that. That addendum is important.
Yeah, I mean, everybody out here feeling for Rich Hill, and I get that, but if his blister would have tore wide open, guess who we would have been looking at? Dave Roberts.
That's right. And if that 2-point conversion hadn't worked for Jack Del Rio, he probably wouldn't have been on Twitter taking a victory lap today.
He's a soft pitcher, though. Blisters on his fingers, you know?
Wow.
That's soft. He shouldn't have been the majors, you know?
Wow. The hottest pitcher in the majors. Perfect game. You got to do something better to impress him, Rich Hill.
Somebody put a picture of Rich Hill on the screen, by the way. I don't feel like anybody up here knows the damn thing about Rich Hill.
36 years old. He's old.
Real? That,
yeah,
wait, that Rich Hill.
That
He's
Rich
still
Hill.
in the league.
It's that Rich Hill.
Full mink leather, bourbon cooler, Gucci sweater.
20 inches, pop my feather. It's the Birdman daddy and we flying any weather.
alligator seat with the head in the inside, swine on the dash, G-Wagon, so fly.
Number one, don't tangle and twist it. When it comes to these cars, I am that the Gucci with the matching interior. Three-wheel ride with the tie in the middle.
It is Pops and a Stoner, and we like brothers. We shine like paint. Daddy, it is our summer.
You dig what I'm saying?
Gator boots.
Yeah.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that is living in a nightmare. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question the Dolphins?
Always. Like, you ought to hear this guy. Anytime somebody says they root for the Dolphins, he tries to talk them out of it.
Yeah, generally speaking, yes. But what are we going to hear? Oh, this is Kenny Stills. Yeah, the first deep ball Ryan Tannehill has ever thrown accurately.
That's the most accurate throw of his life.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on, Featherstone.
Oh, and they lost by a couple of points.
Yikes.
And, I mean, and that's all you need from the Seattle Dolphin game.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill's probably after that like, oh, y'all gonna blame this on me too, huh? And the answer is, give me time. Give me time.
Man, that game was so boring, except for this.
I thought you were going to talk about before the game. Oh, there it is. I told you Michael Bennett been doing deadlifts in the offseason.
There it is. Some of that for you
They
guys.
got that
There
camera,
it is.
they got
There
that
it
camera
is.
off him
There
so
you are.
fast you would
Yes.
have thought he had
There
never
you
heard
are.
that anthem.
Yeah.
He's going to do this in spite of me.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Do you question if Gene Harbaugh was hungry?
Uh-oh, I have a sneaky suspicion I know where this is going. You know where this is going?
I heard about this, but this can't be so. This isn't what actually happened
Let's
here, is
see.
it?
Players Jim Harbaugh is taking advantage of right now.
No, Jim. Jim.
Got it.
Did he get it? Jim. Jim.
I saw somebody describe this as the price of fame, and that's a pretty accurate description of what just transpired. Cameras on you at all times, sir. But of course, as far as coaches and fingers and the faces, we all know that it can get worse. If you don't mind going out to Germany, please.
No, not this guy again.
I love how we didn't at all coordinate that we were going to go to this. Everybody just knew that this
How
was
do we
logical
always
next step.
have this video at the ready? What kind of system we running around here where we can always throw to this video no matter where we are in life?
The funny thing about him, though, is they never show him with his fingers in his hair because then he gets shoe polish all over his face.
Time to play the game that doesn't remember most of the weekend. See or no?
Tell us what's on TV, fools.
On ESPN, a Monday Night Football doubleheader.
Oh, look at the enthusiasm. He said that with, this allows us to make some more fun of Jay Gruden, the coach of the Washington Racial Slurs, who also looks, tell me I'm wrong about this, like a realtor on a bus stop bench whose face you deface. He looks like that, doesn't he? Let's see what we've got here. Yes, right there, the pinching of the nipple. And that concludes our pregame coverage on the Monday Night Football games. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous when Chip Kelly cut Deshaun Jackson. But if Jay Gruden would have done it for that, I'd have been okay with it, man. I mean, that is a man who appears to command very little respect from his charges.
Or he's just got nipples the shapes of pepperonis that are eminently grabbable. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, are you kidding me? Doubleheader in the NFL tonight. You know, starting about 7 o'clock, and you know, I gotta go with the Steelers. You know, I love Antonio Brown and Big Ben. You know, that's a 1-2 punch. I'm telling you, that's a powerful punch. The other game, I don't know. It's too late. Starts about 11 o'clock, and it's past my bedtime.
Yeah.
He also doesn't know who's playing in the game.
That's a terrible game. Who is playing in the game, Poppy? Take a guess. Who's playing?
I have no idea.
Okay, very good. That concludes our pregame Monday night coverage right here on ESPN.
On NBC, Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
Oh, what's this going to be? Is it going to be urine related? Is it going to be Lindsey Vonn pouring out her soul about Tiger Woods? It's very unpredictable. What do we got?
Boy, oh boy.
Super Bowl champion Marshawn Lynch
yeah.
tackles the wild, but he's never seen a pigskin quite like this.
Stick it in there, and we'll take a slap.
Bear be tripping.
Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
into that. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Not intrigued. Although I'm kind of intrigued. It's just that I'm not intrigued relative to the other stuff I want to see, which is what was going to be left out. Like the things they're going to put on NBC may be humorous. The things they leave out, probably amazing.
Well, that's the thing. I always want to watch Marshawn Lynch. Before we get to Papa here, I want to break from the script here. Let's show Marshawn Lynch talking about his running style to Showtime. Listen to this.
If you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't going to be able to take that over and over and over and over and over again. They just not going to want that.
Think there's a deeper metaphor there?
Run through a face.
The deepest metaphor I've ever heard.
It's very deep, that metaphor. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Listen, I'm missing Marshall Lynch, but you know what breaks my heart is the poor pig. You know, the poor pig is having a fun there by himself. He's not bothering anybody. And these two guys, they come from nowhere and they killed the pig, you know. He hasn't done anything bad. Now he's going to be eaten by somebody. You know, that's not fair.
Where's all this love for the pigs and eating pork?
I was going to say, my father loves lechon. Not likes it, loves it.
Well, I hate to see a pig getting killed like that, though.
Right, he just doesn't mind the
Just bring it on the plate and don't tell me how it got
That's
there.
right.
Hates to see it, loves to taste it.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Back tomorrow at the regular time, 4:30 East to watch it.
Gracias. See you mañana.
Really? You just grabbed a patch of hair, Dad.
Yeah?
Do you not know where nipples are?